morning, and thank you for coming. We are finally in the new house of the Dimore del Quartetto, and we are here for the first part of the project, of the European project MUSA, inaugurating also Le Dimore of the Quartetto house. So thank you to the council member who is taking part in this press conference, but he's also a musician, and as a matter of fact, he has always paid attention to these projects. So the floor to you. Thank you, Francesca Moncada, for your words, and I would like to extend warm thanks from the mayor for the importance of this project, putting together the passion for music and the passion for making musicians grow, with a specific attention to the entrepreneurial quality of the project. And in fact, the presence of Simone Gramaglia is a guarantee to ensure top quality thanks to his competency. Well, I believe that the description of the project will be explained later on, and I would like to underline a few things which I believe will support the project to become even more known, thanks to the press and thanks to all the speakers. First of all, I would like to point out the international importance of the project. Let me remember that this project is co-founded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union, and it is very much important for its international expansion because it comes into contact with other international organizations taking part in it. And the second point I would like to underline is the growth, the professional growth that is supported here, specifically of the string quartets that have been selected in the project. So the professional growth of musicians starting this career is somehow always somehow complicated, because it is necessary to also develop soft skills in addition to the talent musicians have, but obviously they have also to protect their talent in order for them to be capable of facing the competition, because they have to protect their talent even more in order to channel in a virtuous way their energy. And I believe that this project is very much strong in this, in protecting and orienting musicians in leveraging on their professional growth. And the last point that I would like to share with you is the quality of the presence of a private organization, not only in terms of legal nature, but the private house, which is the space where an artistic experience is shared, like the one of the Le Dimore del Quartetto. And when private organizations take on responsibility, like in this case, I believe there is a very virtuous circle that is triggered, and in this case, as a matter of fact, this has been recognized by the European Union. And I believe that the project, which we are going to listen to in terms of its description, will expand new benefits, and I believe that this is going to make musicians take advantage of all the possible competencies relating to the development of the project, also through the possibility of having the public being involved, the public is going to take part and also be involved, inspired by the participants, so that I believe that this also expresses very much that these organizations like le Dimore del Quartetto play a major role in developing these projects. Thank you for your work, and I wish you great success. Well, I'm not sure I will remain here for the whole press conference, but unfortunately today I have many cultural events I have to take part, and therefore this is good, because actually cultural events are taking off again. So thank you, council member. And now I would like to tell you something about how MUSA started and what needs made it or played a major role. So we have more than 80 groups from all over the world, selected by the artistic team headed by Simone Gramaglia. And these groups play chamber music. And in these past 6 years of activity, we understood that playing well is not enough. So we have extraordinary musicians who, however, cannot start their career. Why? Because being musicians does not mean being entrepreneurs. And today, musicians are required, especially if musicians are part of a group and a string quartet specifically. So musicians are required to have more skills, work as a team and as an enterprise, and in order to become recognized, in order to transform themselves according to market needs, they have to also to be innovative. They have to communicate, and for all these reasons, extraordinary musicians do have hard time to make their career take off. And, for example, string quartets are formed by 4 people coming from different countries. This brings a lot, because the reading of the music is even deeper and better, because the quartet can really explore the world of music, because there are 4 different heads putting efforts into the music, listening to one another so that everybody can really do their best. But in this case, identity becomes a problem, because if you have 4 people, 4 cultures, 4 different mindsets, taking out the very best and making the group emerge, it becomes even more difficult. And on their own, these groups do have difficulties. For this reason, MUSA started to help these groups develop soft skills to become enterprises. So, in fact, they are good musicians, extraordinary musicians, because MUSA will represent a puzzle, and we have 3 important pieces, and we hope that other pieces will be added further on when we decide that they need a competency for so that they can develop their career. So we start from Italy. And we have the IED with Simona, working on the identity side for the Italian part. And we also need to communicate with the different places. Musicians often play in a way that is somewhat rigid in a theater, with a public in front of them, and this is their experience. This has been their experience so far, but we know that music has a huge importance in having historic places being known. And so therefore a quartet needs to know how to communicate these locations and make these places become renowned with the music. And they need also to know the public they have in front of them. Maybe this is a public that has never listened to music, and so a public of children maybe. And so what is the public they are experiencing with? And so in Portugal, we have the second step, and we have an organization dealing with the design spaces and architecture. And so thanks to this experimentation phase, they will transform their repertoire and their understanding of the organization of a concert according to the space they are sharing. And in addition, an additional thing that we have included in the project, is the ability to record the ability to recording, the video recording, audio recording. So in this case, we understood that many quartets, many musicians cannot really record themselves or develop a video that is acceptable, both from a music point of view and from an aesthetic point of view. We've seen videos with maybe the laundry hang in the back, or recordings where the music was not really nice to hear, to listen to, and therefore in this case, we have France as a player with the firm de Villefavard, which is a very important place for recording. So there the quartets will learn how to record themselves, both from a professional point of view and a self-teaching point of view. And this is going to be very much important. And all these quartets, which are going to take part in these workshops, are several, but simultaneously, concurrently, they are just a few, because this working tool, according to us, had to be made accessible to all quartets, not only the ones that we have selected, but all quartets, because this is something that all quartets should have. And therefore, we asked from Bocconi to develop a tool in order to make these workshops accessible to the new generation of musicians who are going to develop these skills. So the Bocconi Research Centre will support us in this first phase, in addition to IED, in this first phase, which is going to be made together with the Dimore of Bergamo. The first 16 quartets selected will be hosted in the historical houses of Bergamo, and there we are going to have the final part with the photo shooting, the video shooting, etc. So all these quartets in the end will be accompanied by ASPA Bocconi, and Bocconi Research Centre will then release this very important tool, which is going to become very much important for everybody. So I would like to thank Erasmus Plus, the Erasmus Plus program, which allowed us to develop networking in Europe, in the music world, in the world of culture. And I believe this is absolutely necessary, because this also means to create and develop a sustainable chain in every country, so that these quartets can move and travel around, so that they can emerge, because they have to take off, but they can do it only with our help. So now I ask Simone Gramaglia to tell us what does it mean from a music perspective. So first of all, I would like to thank you, Francesca, and I would like to thank also Filippo del Corno, because as a musician I was vibrating when I was listening to his words, because it is true, musicians need to have people around that understand what they need in order for them to grow, in order to nourish the cultural life of cities and the world. So personally, I'm very happy that we have such an important council member in Milan, council member for culture, because I believe that in this case, with all these activities, Milan will become a capital of culture. And so far, we didn't have much chance. Yes, of course, we have had important quartets, string quartets. We have had very important examples, but it is also true that many other string quartets from other countries, well, they were better than ours. But I believe that instead now there is much content now. We have extraordinary string quartets now, and as Giuseppe Verdi was saying, chamber music, he said, is not a plant that is destined to grow in Italy, but now it is actually the case that we are seeing this plant growing. Pietro Faruni is somebody everybody knows. Many politicians, private people, private citizens know him, passionate for music and passionate for string quartets. And he wanted the string quartet to be renowned everywhere. And this is a project that has always failed, but now Francesca is doing much, and I believe that now this is going to become a reality, and I believe that the project is a flagship for all of us. Normally, we would not listen to a string quartet. Now that there is a chance for private citizens to have a string quartet play in their historic house, this will become a very important tool to have the possibility for the string quartets to make themselves known. And on the other side, the historical places live a different experience. But through the collaboration, through the possibility of respecting the role, I believe this is an incredible example. So we can do it through the string quartet, and this is extraordinary. And the string quartets will have a chance to grow even further. Well, this is even better. And through the MUSA project, and also the name is extraordinary, we can be we can work as a source of inspiration for these emerging quartets, because through the contact, the experience with the best teachers, the best international organizations, because of course, as Francesca was saying, this is not just playing the instrument for hours and hours. This is important, I know, but it is also important to know the places, the culture, the history, the way to present yourself. I was talking to Simona earlier on. So the way they present themselves, not in a superficial way, but in a deeper way, and it's very much important. I believe that the emerging quartets will discover a world. There is much tradition, there is much innovation. So in some way, this is also fundamental, because from ever and ever, music is not only music. So it is very much important for emerging quartets to know this in a project that is not too long. It's very much concentrated, because the sessions will last approximately 1 week each, and these musicians will study, they will participate in laboratories, so they will experiment, and they will understand how much important it is to focus on specific aspects and maybe shift to other concepts. So the quartets that we have selected so far are very young musicians, highly talented. Of course, quality is important, because we believe in this. So if you want the project to work, you need to focus on true talent. So these are all talented musicians, and therefore in evaluating the candidates, we also asked them to submit motivational letters, and the most curious motivational letters are those that we selected, and so therefore it is important to also focus on this. The 4 quartets are the Zalais quartet from the Netherlands and Spain. Then we have Atman, 4 girls from Poland. They are very beautiful and they are very good. And a quartet from the Netherlands, very, very good. And then another quartet from France. And France produced so many quartets in the past years. And I believe that also the Italian quartets will play a role. And all of these quartets have musicians aged between 25 and 30 years, and they are all willing to explore more, to learn more, and I believe that the experience will be so much beautiful, and this is all in a European environment. And these musicians, they feel citizens of Europe. Well, thanks to their culture, their country, but they feel also European musicians. And thanks to this project, they will play in France, Portugal, and they will have a chance to play in concerts. We are going to have the chance to listen to them and having the possibility of being enriched, expanding the chamber music all over the world. Thank you, Simone, for your introduction. And I would like to thank the council member and Francesca Moncada, because you touched 3 themes: talent, growth, which brings about also the intergenerational confrontation, and the transnational identity, in a moment in which Europe is also playing a role in expanding the unity through diversity. yes, unity through diversity. And for IED, the participation in the MUSA project is very much important, not only because this allows us to face new experiences and the know-how of the project that has already been described, by leveraging on the networking and on the exchanging of experiencing through innovation, through the research, and through the workshop, specifically starting from Italy, but also the promotion of culture and culture creating new activities for transformation and new approach. Last but not least, the importance in supporting emerging musicians, providing them with the competencies so that they can grow even more as a quartet and also as entrepreneurs. As Francesca was saying, the role of IED refers to the workshop and the historical residencies, and actually this is going to start soon at the end of this month, and this is going to be focused on the implementation of professional skills specifically dedicated to string quartets. And this workshop will bring together practical competencies and theoretical competencies, and this is a call, and this is going to be focused on the image communication strategy. And the focus in Italy has started with the pluriannual experience with Le Dimore and IED that has been growing through the years. And in fact, we have also developed the photography course headed by Silvia Lelli, and the workshop is integrated in the artistic residency. And through theoretical phases, sessions supported by conversations and direct contacts with the teachers. So we are going to work on the enhancement of competencies, the understanding of one's identity, so putting together all the individual identities of the members of the quartet, who, as we said before, they can also have different cultural backgrounds. We are going to work on their collective identity to enhance and strengthen their strategy, communication strategy, because the objective is to develop their image, because by knowing their identity, in this case, they can also become more effective communicators, so to understand how they can interact with their public, and so they can become self-entrepreneurs. And this is a distinctive element for their growth at the international level. The workshop is organized in 5 days, integrated in the artistic residency, thanks to the historical houses of Bergamo, as you anticipated, which will enable the musicians to share their opinions, their ability in storytelling. And 3 of these 5 days will be held at the IED campus in Via Piranesi, and the other 2 in the historical houses in Bergamo. So the quartet will have a chance to share and put into practice the meaning, the language, the tools for the definition of their collective identity as a quartet, defining their image strategy also through the digital world. So not only exactly in the moment of the concert, in the performance, but through to the storytelling of their professional growth as a musician. So we are going to work both on the image strategy, styling, what it means, therefore, the meaning that's behind a specific approach, also in terms of clothing, interaction with the space. All these themes will be analyzed in the workshops of the other residencies, but also in terms of communication needs, how you reach out to specific publics, and therefore all through storytelling. So how can I do, what should I do in order to explore more and take advantage of storytelling through concepts, and also photography. Specifically, the 2 days in the historical residencies will become opportunities for musicians to take part in a photo shooting. So they will implement their acquired skills, so they know how to act in front of a professional photographer or a professional stylist, so that they can strengthen their identity. Last but not least, there will be a moment in which they will exchange opinions with their teachers, so that the final conversation, the final day, is a moment of analysis of their experience, what kind of growth they have reached, what kind of criticalities they have encountered. So we are giving them inputs, we are giving them tools upon which musicians, hopefully, of course, will continue implementing. And therefore, peer confrontation and the confrontation with their teachers and with the other partners of the project will be an integrating part of the workshop. So with all these hands-on elements, and this is, of course, the approach IED. This is exactly what the IED focuses on, and for us, this workshop is an opportunity for growth and sharing, and the implementation of what has been selected and experimented. So we are also going to grow together with them. So thank you, Simona. I would like to conclude by saying that we are going to also have a video, because the whole workshop will be video recorded. And our partner SKD will be responsible for it, and I would like also to thank Paola Rubini, who could not participate in this press conference, but she is part of the Aspa Bocconi organization. I would like also to thank the project manager of this project, the person who's been coordinating this project for 1 year now, Alice Boccone, because, you know, putting together all these partners and making them work, collaborate effectively is not at all easy. And then we have also our graphic partners who have been accompanying us. Now, the most beautiful thing we could share with you is sharing, listening live to a string quartet, which has put together all the pieces. Well, I believe this is Italy's best quartet, and Yes, one of the top 10 string quartet, the Cremona string quartet. So for us, in addition to Simone Gramaglia as artistic director, the Cremona string quartet is the flagship. And so thank you again.
you.